Okay, I'm live. Um, Basically, I was doing that, and I finished thumbnail that page. I'm very excited to show the process of me developing the shapes and finalizing the page. That's why I'm live right now. That's my goal today. Well, I will start by, because this file is huge and it has a lot of things. So I'll first start by printing. I'll print that page. Let me just zoom in and put the page in the frame. I'm going to print. Now I'm going to create a new file in A4 resolution. No. Create from, no, A4 resolution first. A4 300. Yeah, that's good. Create. All right, let's go. Great. Now, what I will do is paste that in here and increase the size. Hopefully, it will fit very well. All right. Now, I will work on top of this because this is just a pixel art I did. And I do in this way because, oh, the music is off. I'll put a playlist. And I do in this way because it's easier to manage the painting first, right? The layout and everything. And now that everything is planned out, so let me explain. The guy comes in, right? This is Boomer's security, personal security. And then he asks if he can come in, right? And then Boomer gets all nasty and demonic and says something like, "Oh, you want bitches too, right? Come in." And then he said, "No, I'm here because," and then Boomer cuts him and say, "Oh, I wanna play." And then we go to the next page. But for now, I want to finalize that art. So let's go. Take a regular brush. So I'll finalize that panel first. So let's separate. Let's separate it from the rest. Let's put some perspective rulers. Because I didn't use perspective yet, I just, place the general composition. Now I am going to come in with the perspective. Now that every element is in place. You can see that everything is very abstract. But this is already enough to convey most things. See, like if you zoom in on his face, you can see that he's smiling. There's almost nothing in here yet. It's just pixels, right? But here's the thing. A painting is just a bunch of shapes. So it's not that far off. All I'm gonna do is take these shapes that are already in here in form of pixels and refine them. And then I will have a high resolution file. That's it. But the main painting will remain mostly the same. To the point where if I see from a distance, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the two. Only if I zoom in is that when I will see that, this is actually high res. So let's go. I created this. Let's put some perspective rulers. I'm going into the assistant. Then I will configure a two-point perspective. It will be very simple. I love the assistant too. By the way, it's very good. So I'll configure a 2-point perspective here. Then I'll just click and there you go. Look how cool is that. Well, now I'll need to kind of uh, configure the vanishing points to be on pair with my scene. And to do that, it's very simple. Just put everything, I guess, like that. Yeah, like that is good. Now the other one. Wait, here. Oops. And here. Cool, right? That too is super powerful. I think Krita's perspective rulers are far superior than Clip Studio. The only advantage that Clip Studio has over Krita is that you can use 3D directly. You can upload OBJ files, and they will kind of work into the perspective ruler that you set up, which is super interesting. It's not something that you see happening in other softwares. In fact, Clip Studio is the only software I've ever seen that you can set up a 2D perspective ruler like this, two-point perspective, and then put a actual 3D object inside this universe that you just created. It's super cool. Anyway, I'm just rambling around. Let's come back and focus. Come on. Go down. Oops. It's in here. No, it's still. Come on, dude. Oops. Yeah. Now is nice. Yeah, but where's the other one? Here. Let me put in here. Then do this. All right, my perspective ruler is set up. I think this is good. Yeah, it's good. Well, let's go. Now I'll do the environment first because I like to do this way better. So I'll just ignore the characters. Of course, there will be a backup of the original file. I'll just create a copy, right? I will lock this one. In fact, I will lock everything else. So just lock everything locked. And now I will start playing. Let me reduce the opacity of the perspective rulers because in fact I don't like to see the perspective rulers. I just like it to see to be a guide, right? To what I'm doing. Um, where is the assistant? Assistant 2 opacity. I'll let just a little bit of opacity, just a little bit. Now I'll put brush and I'll set up snap to assistant. Okay, now I can play. Let's play. As I said, I will just ignore the characters for now. Because I'll be. Oh, wait, what the fuck? What happened? Oh no, my Krita is. It's having problems with the table. I'll need to restart the software. God damn it. It's okay. I needed to close the other file anyway, so I'll just save this. Save this. My computer is having trouble. Wait, I just stopped the transmission just for a while because my computer is kind of burning down right now. The video will stay black for a while just while I set everything up. Wait, where is it? Oh, here. How do I do this? It's just remove? Yeah, I think that's. Oh no, there's an icon. Duh. Anyway, uh, close that. Save that. Save as, I don't know, upscale page. Upscale page. Save and close. The reason I'm doing this, by the way, is because my create a kind of glitch, and now my table is not recognizing the proper placement of the stroke. That happens because I shifted monitors when I started to record the stream. Then Krita got all messed up. And since I'm working with monitors, my computer gets very glitchy because streaming is kind of heavy. Krita is also heavy, and the Chrome browser is also heavy, so my computer is burning down. I'm just reopening Kirita and everything will be fine, I guess. I hope, actually. Alright. I guess I can come back with the video. Let's see. Alright, let's get back to work. Let's see. Perfect. Now I can snap to assistant and start having fun. Great. I'll just put a white background and reduce the opacity because I want to see exactly what I'm doing. A white or gray background. Just the opacity here. In fact, that's not necessary. Let's just not do that. That's okay. Let's go. All right. It's very satisfying, isn't it? I love perspective rulers. For a long time in my life, I was an enemy of perspective rulers because I wanted to draw like King Jingi. I still is kind of like that, but since I'm doing a work that I want it to be perfect, so I'm doing a sacrifice. Let's, oops. Oh, come on. All right. Yeah. Okay. By the way, this is a tip of industrial design. The edge will always receive more light, so you always put a lighter spot in the edge like this. Right. And by the way, when you're painting, you work with temperature rather than working with color straight up. So you don't think about color, you think about temperature. It's complicated. I also struggle to understand a little bit. But the thing is that the color you choose, it's not important. What is important is first the value, right? So how dark or how light something is. This is the most important thing. And second, the temperature of the color. For example, this is a cold line. I just did a cold line because the illumination in here is global illumination, it's environment, right? And the environment color, usually it's grayed out. The sun, however, it's direct radiation from the sun, so it's not grayed out, it's very warm. And since this wood has a local value that's a little bit orangey, right? Because it's a color like brown or something, then the sun will have an effect that intensifies this hot temperature in the color. Anyway, just rambling around. I can't. Let's go. Oh, I have a trouble with the perspective ruler because the perspective ruler kind of does not allow me to do anything else. So I just select another type of brush. Oops, the music is off. Let me uh, let me put something. What here? Mixed house music. Let's put this. What the fuck? Oh yeah, I put the other brush because I wanted to do this diagonal line because you see that's relative to the angle of the sun that is hitting in here, and then the light comes from the sun, passes in here, and hits the wood, but it hits at an angle, casting a shadow of this object right here. Right, so it gets like that. Oops, let me lock the transparency so I don't paint out of this area. Anyway. Okay. By the way, in edges like this, you have a lot of ambient occlusion because light gets trapped. I don't know if my computer's because light gets trapped in this gap right here. See? So this area will always be darker. That's exactly the opposite of what happens in here. Because this is a concave edge. This is a incave? No, there's another word. Concave, convex. This is a convex uh edge. Convex and concave. Concave and convex. Here, ambient occlusion, see? This doesn't happen in here because the light of the sun is hitting directly and there's nothing in here. As you can see, this is the open environment, right? This light area indicates the sky, so it's an open environment. There's only a relationship of connection between these two objects in here, so there's occlusion. See how as it gets closer to the edge, you see the transition between that value and that value, right? I have exaggerated a little bit in this edge, but I think this is better. All right, that's perfect. Mina linda, perigosa, rouba meu coração. I never liked Brazilian funk, but when it mixes with funk, which is not the same as funk, funk is a music that it's exclusive to Brazil. Funk, but funk is a style of music that is, if I am not mistaken, it's American, right? But when you mix those two styles, dude, it gets fire. Super cool. All right. Mm. Take that color. Ooh, computer's having trouble. A lot of trouble. I'm going to put some texture in here. I feel like it's missing texture. If I'm not mistaken, this area, I don't remember what I did in this part in the original drawing. I need to look at the reference. But anyway, I just do it. I'll put details later. I need to focus on the details in this waterfall in here. This is another plane, so the sun will be hitting directly. Guess I need the perspective now, perspective ruler. Oh, computer's having trouble. Wait, let my computer think a little bit. I need to buy a new computer. I don't have money right now. By the way, where is the horizon? Horizon is around here, right? The horizon. Uh, where's? Oh, it's in here. I see it. Yeah, so here the buildings will not appear, definitely not, because the buildings will get stuck in the horizon because that's the camera level, right? And the cool thing about the horizon is that whatever this line touches means the height of the camera. For example, see her butt in here? Her butt is below the horizon. It means that if her butt is in the same level, meaning the same height, the camera would also be, her butt will also be below the horizon. Anything that is above the horizon is taller than the level of her butt right here. For example, his head is taller than the level of her butt, right? And if I do a building in here and the building is like below the horizon, it means that the building is not as tall as the building that they are right now. That's interesting how it works. The horizon is a very useful way to measure distances when it comes to height. That's why it's called the camera level, and that's why you put it on the paper. That's the first thing you need to put on the paper, in fact. Let me draw this water in here. The thing with the water, what I want to do with the water is a subsurface scattering right in the top in here. Because the light of the sun will be hitting, and the waterfall will carry this light from the sun a little bit. So the top half in here of the waterfall will get light by the sun. It will be very beautiful. And cyan is warm when compared to a. Sorry, my computer's. Cyan is hot when compared to pure blue. So if the sun hits the water gets hotter, thus it gets more cyan. Alright, by this point the subsurface scattering already ran out. It gets stronger in the top in here. That's closer to where the sun is hitting. Water has a lot of highlights. That's how I will convey the effect of water. I still haven't started doing that yet. Let's put a darker value in here. Uh, let's pick this darker value. And of course, I will work now with the ambient occlusion here in the bottom. Because water is also subjected to this type of illumination patterns. Okay. Now I'm going to apply a little bit of brown in here to indicate that the water is transparent. Right, like that. Just be careful not to overdo it, because I need to still have the idea that the water is passing through here. And I need to ensure that the brown doesn't touches the cyan. In between the cyan and the brown, there needs to be a strong blue. That color. Because the cyan doesn't mix with the brown. It mixes with the blue, and the blue mixes with the brown. That's the hierarchy. Mind you, I still haven't put the highlights yet. The effect of the water will come when the highlight is in place. But it's already looking like a kind of a water, I guess. I think the most important thing when it comes to drawing 3D really is the highlight. Even when you don't put a lot of shadows, if you put highlights, your brain just gets it. It just, oh, alright, that's 3D. That's why games, for example, GTA, when you have those uh, graphics mods, right? They go heavy on the highlights when it comes to making everything wet, right? There's even a joke in the gaming community that if you want to make the graphics to look cool, just make everything wet. It's because of that. It's because our brain kind of recognizes highlights more than everything else. We love shiny things. All right, that's good enough. Let's just improve this here on the top. Maybe I should put. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to do a hard edge right in here. That will, that will work very well. You need to mix hard edge with soft edge when you're painting with the right value. Yeah, like that. Hmm. Yeah, I am going to put a core shadow right. I don't know if I put a core shadow right in here. Yeah, I should do that. Yeah. Let's see how it goes. Hmm. Works. Core shadows are also very important. Shape design. All right, let's put highlights. That's it. That's good enough. I don't know. Let me just put a little bit of blue in between here. I'm not liking this sudden transition between cyan and brown. That's not good. All right, that's better. Since water is transparent, the thing is that water catches the light because of the highlight property of the water that reflects a lot of light. What is not reflected passes straight through it, right? So what happens is that the regions where shadow exists, you get almost full transparency, right? That's the thing with liquids and fluids, is that the shadows becomes transparency, and what is not shadow, like for example in here where it's catching the light of the sun and whatnot, it gets more like bluish. Although water have a color, but I honestly I don't know. I just I just do what feels right sometimes. But it's working quite well. I'm I'm actually imagine that it has such a kind of a 3D form to it. You can see that I'm imagine that it has volume, right? Let me exemplify using a more abstract color just for me to illustrate what exactly I am thinking when I'm doing this order right here. I'm going to put a red just to explain this to you. You know, this is not part of the. Let me wait. Computer. Oh my god, Jesus Christ, it's so fucking terrible. Anyway, this is not part of the pointing. This is not part of the pointing. This is just what I'm thinking. So check this out. Let my computer think. Wait. So guys, my computer's having a lot of trouble. Anyway, so that's what I'm thinking when I'm doing. See? Look. See? Same thing in here. And remember, when it passes the remember that this is the level of the camera. Look what happens when the water crosses the horizon. It gets flattened out. But this is still a curve. And I'm indicating that it is a curve by putting the highlights. Because this, and this are the same curve. The only thing is perspective. Right? See how it works? Cross contour lines are very useful. And when it passes the horizon, look, it starts to point downwards, right? Like that. I'll put this in here because this will be useful actually to make the highlights. You see what I mean in a second. I'll let this in here for now. I'll reduce the opacity. Of course, I put it in a new layer because I'm not dumb. Now let's put the highlights. For the highlights, look at the difference. Wow. For the highlights, I'll actually let my computer think. Alright. For the highlights, I'll use a layer with thinking about color dodge maybe. Not a layer, I'll put a blue or white. A blue is better. Put a blue like that with a kind of a strong saturation. I won't go full saturated because the color dodge is a little bit dangerous when you go full saturation on. But this is good enough. I'll just put the layer, not the layer, the brush mode in the color dodge or addition. Addition is like a color dodge in steroids. It's the same thing. And then I'll start to put the highlights, and you see the utility that these red lines that I did actually have. It's because the regions of the curve will be marked with different values. So, for example, if I remove the red, because this is very simplified, let me teach you another thing in here. I'll put red again. Put red again, and then I will show you. You see this stronger blue in here? This stronger blue indicates that this region is more angled, right? You have this angle in here, and then you have this core shadow that indicates that the curve, this angle is already done, right? It already ended. Have this point in here where it ends. And then you have this lighter value again. This indicates an angle too, but it's an angle that is much thinner. It's not so violent like this one. It's a little bit more thinner, right? But it's an angle too, and that's why the value is lighter. It's because the light is going from that direction, right? And when you put the highlights, this is useful because let me teach you another thing. When the highlights come, and I'm in addition already, the highlights come. My computer thing. You will see that the highlight will be in some point between the shadows and the form, the, the form light, right? Like this, for example. This is a highlight already. See? And the place where I choose to put the highlight will be the same in all points. So I'll put highlight where the angle shifts between light and shadow. So let's put the highlight in here. And here the same thing, but with a smaller intensity because the angle here is much more thin, right? So this is the pattern. See? Well, let me remove the red and you see that this will be the pattern that I choose to put the highlights. And I'm thinking that these highlights are too hot still. Let me make highlights that are more cold. Colder highlights are always a great pick. Sorry, my computer glitched again. Every time, every time that my voice glitches, imagine that I'm asking sorry because if I ask sorry all the time this happens, the video will just be a huge apology. Anyway, that's better. That's better for highlight. All right. Highlights, especially on water, they should have hard edges, okay? I'm not liking the white this way. Just I'll mix it. Ah, Jesus Christ! I'll mix a little bit with blue, just a little bit. It's better. I need to have patience. The intensity of the highlight is compatible with the intensity of the change between shadow and light. Put some small spots. Ooh, that actually worked a lot. I think that's what Bob Ross called a happy accident. That actually adds to the subsurface scattering, I guess. Because the light is kind of working to illuminate what is behind it because it's carrying the light of the sun. I guess that's what is happening. I love this music. Ooh, it's because I'm working on addition blending mode. Yeah, blending modes are always a good pick. They always create cool effects that I have no idea how to do it manually. By the way, I suck at traditional painting. I'm a digital artist to the core, which is a problem, in my opinion. Oh, it's so hard. Oh my god, my computer is fucking burning to the ground. That's good. All right, let's remove addition. Let's explore other blending modes, for example, overlay. Come on, overlay. Need to calibrate my table. Ooh, overlay will sorry guys. Overlay will help me harmonize this whole thing in here, color wise. Let me just put a cool color. I will put a very strong blue, but I will desaturate a little bit. All right, let's put overlay and see what happens. Yeah, as I thought, help me harmonize everything. Hmm. Maybe I'll reduce the opacity just a little bit. Maybe just on the shadow area. Yeah, only in the bottom part. It's better. Wow, that's great. Do the same thing up there with cyan here. Ooh. No, that got exaggerated. Hmm. Let's do the. Look at the difference. All right, that's good enough. Water also creates ambient occlusion because, like you or not, the water is the water is preventing some light to reach the object that is behind it. I know water is transparent and sometimes even carry lights with it, like in, in here, but it eventually it eventually occludes light too. So let's put a little bit of ambient occlusion. I wonder if there is a lighter software than OBS Studio that I can use. Cause dude, it's impossible. Ambient occlusion, 3, 2, 1, go. By the way, the ambient occlusion also needs shape design, so let's work on that. Let me explain how. See that? Oh god, I feel like it's getting increasingly worse as the life progresses. It gets harder and harder to keep up. My computer is having even more trouble. I don't know why. Anyway, here on top, you have a smaller area of ambient occlusion because it's closer to the object. Here on the bottle, the water is already a little bit farther from the object, so you have more region of shadow. So you get this triangle, this cool triangle. Triangles are awesome, not only to 3D softwares but to our brains too. They are great to shape topology, because this is a type of topology too. Let's not forget that. Since this is water and it's letting a lot of light pass, I would like to put a little bit of. Let my computer think. I like to put a little bit of transparent shadow in here, so I put a lighter value in here because this is water. See how it works? That's how it works. So this is already looking great. I'll just do a little adjustment in here. Like that is better. By the way, I'm noticing that the level of her butt in here, because she's a little bit farther from the waterfall, right? The waterfall is not falling directly on her. Oh god. Oh god. How hard this is. So basically cut the waterfall in here, see? I'm showing the end. And I'll put a little bit of foam because the water is falling, so it creates foam. It's just this blue. Great. Now let's put foam. Let's just take a white. I like that music too, so cool. Put some little balls. By the way, foam also have shadows, okay? So I'll take a darker gray and I go with the lower opacity and put a little bit of shadow in this foam right here, just to include the whole thing in the environment I'm creating. And shadows, I mean everything: ambient occlusion, form shadows, cast shadows, everything. I just simplify, of course, because Jesus Christ, right? Just simplify, but it's the same logic. All right, that's good enough. Maybe I should reduce the opacity of the foam a little bit, or put a color. What happened to the music? Oh, put a darker color. Because I need to, I cannot forget that this region that I'm painting in here, it's also suffering from a major ambient occlusion. Actually, the ambient occlusion is happening in all this area in here, all this area, right? Now put a straight line that will help me shape the design. Oh god, my computer. I can't help, I always complain about it. There we go. Let's create the waving effect in the water. Because the water is being disturbed, right? And this is always a very cool texture to make water in this way. By the way, this pool has lights that are inside, right? The pool. So it happens, so a similar thing that what happens in the sun up there will happen with these blue lights of the pool. That's why the pool gets so fucking blue, right? It's because of the blue lights that are under to give this luxurious effect of a fancy pool. Happen. God, don't play with this. Work. It's just on the hidden layer. My computer's thinking. Take this. Let me save first. Always save. All right. Whew. This is great. Let me put more foam. Jesus. Here. That side. Wait, what the fuck is happening? What is this? Oh. That's better. Hmm. What the fuck? It's not. Oh, it's because transparency lock. Oh god, it's too much. Okay, let's just paint water blue. Sure. I have a better idea. Let me make a selection here. From that point to that point. This will do it. Hmm. I'll need to push this a little bit farther away in here, because the waterfall is actually falling from a distance to the wall, right? Like that, of course. And I think I should increase the angle in here too. Yeah, it's good. All right. Let's go back with the perspective ruler. Is it working? Yeah. Hmm. Just make a measurement. Oh wow. Wait. That's why it was weird. I wasn't taking into account the angle of the height axis, the y-axis, when I made the waterfall. That's why it's weird, because every angle needs to be relative to the major XYZ axis. Where is the brush here? Hmm. Hmm. Sorry, I got overly silence. This happens when I my brain takes over. Sometimes you just need to shut up and do it. I'm very happy with this effect. Hmm. I'll let this. I'll let this wait for now, or maybe not. Let me close this gap. Just. Hmm. Well, that's better. That's good. Let's just close this. I guess I hyper focused on this region of the drawing and I forgot the rest. I should be working a more generalistic way. But always when I have to draw water, I kind of get a little bit sorry, a little bit super focused on it because I really like drawing water for some reason. Okay, now I can lock transparency again. Great. Let's keep working. I'll make a few reflections on the water, like reflecting the foam, reflecting this, everything will be reflected in the water. This. Oops, I made a mistake. I didn't lock the shapes. I should lock the shapes always. I hope I can come back. Oh god, please. Survive this, survive. Jesus, my computer's too hot. Copy this. Copy. Alright. Now I come back, of course. And now I can paste it. And the shapes will be respected, hopefully. Yeah, I can reduce the opacity a little bit. Yeah, you can see why reflections help make everything realistic. It's because they help like bring everything together because the colors gets like blend with each other, right? They lose saturation a lot on reflections. Everything gets more realistic because of this. You get these hard edges too on reflexes and cool color notes. This bluish region. reflections of reflections, or reflections of reflections. Reality is a huge, huge fractal. What the fuck am I talking about? Symmetry. Beautiful. What if I put your reflections in like overlay mode or something? Mmm. Mmm. That's even better. Yeah, I think all reflection should be in overlay, isn't it? Maybe I should reduce the opacity just a little bit, but I like this effect. With overlay, and even go like harder with the values on the highlights. They go straight. It stay beautiful regardless. And the colors get super harmonic. Look at this. Wow, that is nice. By the way, you see that her body in here is receiving light, right? So she is in a place where there's no shadow being cast because this thing is casting huge shadow, right? Just crazy because this is a sunset. This doesn't make a lot of sense. Technically, this whole region should be on shadow, but this wouldn't be as cool. So let me see what I can do here. To be technically right, I should first let me merge everything. This is good enough already. Oh Jesus, this is too much. My computer. I feel actual pain every time my computer glitches. So as I was saying, the sun is hitting the water at some point before her body starts to submerge, right? Because she is being lit by light. So it would only make sense if that's the case. So let's see. So of course she will cast a shadow, right? But the water will get lit by the sun at some point before that. So this is already the shadow of this huge thing ending, right? In here. Just reduce the opacity a little bit. And mind you, where this the sun hits, there is no reflection anymore. Reflections kind of end. The reflections only happens where there's shadow. And then her body's casting a shadow, of course, in the water too. This is all her shadow, by the way. Even in here too. This will not affect this yellow thing because this is actually a neon light that exists in there. So it's emitting light. It's not reflecting merely. So it won't be affected by the shadow itself. Let me put a more uniform value in here, but without changing the school texture, please. Hmm. Since the sun is kind of heating this area, I'll put a more violent value in here. And actually, wait a minute. I'll keep this texture in here and put the violent value in here. But not all the way through. That's better. No, wait. Let me end the shadow a little bit down. So I have more space to put this structural region. Wait. Here and then here. Okay. Jesus Christ, that computer's fucking trolling me right now. I put black to mark the true region of the structure where it ends. Yeah. By the way, I was supposed to use the perspective for that one. I don't know why I'm not using the perspective ruler. Oh, that's better. Okay. 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 And of course, this her shadow also finishes in here, so I think we'll be able to see more of the sunlight in this part and in the water as well. like that. Of course, her body will quickly cover that region. This is unbelievable, man. I hate my computer. I use the perspective rulers on the shadow as well. Just 'cause I think. No, 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 what? No, that's a terrible idea. By the way, that's her projected shadow, okay? Since the water is waving, it has a bunch of waves. I need to show that as well. Design some waves like this. A little bit more opacity. This is the form shadows of the waves, okay? Alright. So remember that there is a light underneath the pool, right? And the cool thing is that this light will show up in the shadows. I'll show you what it means right now. Let me just simplify this shadow right here. I'll need to simplify it for what I will do next. First, let me put the highlights already because I'm going to do the subsurface scattering of the light underneath the pool. This is the shadow family. Since I'm working with the light family, let me put the highlights already. A white like this. Yeah. You see that I'm always thinking about structure and form, even when I'm do something like do the texture in the water, right? I'm always thinking about form and texture. 3D shapes, 3D volume. That's the idea. And what I'm doing right now is searching all the regions that I put this black spot to put a highlight that will indicate the volume that is casting these little shadows, right? So for each shadow, there needs to be highlight that corresponds to it. Otherwise, it's just a darker color on top of a flat object, right? There's not a volume. Your brain only registers things as volume when for every shadow there's a highlight. See, you have a shadow in here, it must have a highlight in here. Shadow, a highlight, and so on, so forth. I'll make the shadows to hug this side because it's the opposite side of the highlight. Yeah, guys, that is rendering. That's what I think when I say the word rendering. Mm, Actually, I got a little bit lost in the size because I zoom in too much. Let me merge those two waves right here to make a larger wave. Then I put a wave in here now. Yeah, cool. The waves needs to get bigger as it approaches the camera, so let me do a big wave in here to indicate that idea. Select this value, put this huge wave in here. Hmm. Now I like to do this. Look, At some point in the water, there will be like a little highlight. See? And I put a little X, a little white X in here to indicate this. But I'll put it in a even more white, the whitest white possible, because this is actually a direct reflect of the sun, right? So it needs to be as white as it can get.
Por que Nutella é tão gostosa? Porque é feita com ingredientes de qualidade, como avelãs e cacau.
See? Perfect. Put just a few. On when it gets farther away from the camera, you can put just a bunch like that. All right. Now let's do the underneath light, right? And that's gonna be beautiful. It's just my computer finish thinking. Okay, now I can put the below water light. Let's create another layer for this, and I'll put a very beautiful blue. Let's put this. I think this beautiful. This is beautiful enough. Just a little bit more bluish like that, because it needs to have this neon feel. And I don't know. I'll try with addition first, because it's a light source, right? But I don't think it will work so well with addition. Maybe overlay is the way to go. Where's the overlay? All right. Yeah, that's it. No, I need another type of blending mode. Let me explore. My computer does explodes, changing between all those blending modes. This one, no, this be. Oh, what is this? This is easy burn. Yep, that's exactly what I need. Now I need to wait my computer to work. Yeah, that is exactly it. And by the way, I think this will also show up on the waves. In the individual waves will have this, because don't forget that shadows are actually transparent when it comes to liquids and water. So yeah, I'll put this color note on all the waves. Let me continue.
deixar faltar no estoque.
BB Empresa, por dentro do seu negócio. Todo negócio é como um mecanismo com muitas partes móveis que nem sempre funcionam bem juntas.
Interesting, isn't it? By the way, I guess I should reduce the opacity of these waves a little bit and see what effect I can get. No, the problem is not the opacity itself. Well, I think it's good. I think it's good. Let's. Is that? Yes, exactly. Limited what I need. Let me select this. Cut the rest. Let me flat this first. Where those two layers. And delete. Great. What is this? Oh, Jesus. Can I go back? No chance. Yeah, it happens. It's a little present. It's a little gift that was given to me by my shitty computer. It's okay. It's a minor issue. Okay. Solved. Let's keep going. What else? I guess I can say that I finished the water. I guess I can say that, right? But lock transparency. Let's put a little bit of foam right here in the edge to indicate that the water is like heating the wall, right? And creating a little bit of foam. By the way, in the shadows, the water will also create a little bit of reflections like this in the waves. This music is so fucking dirty, but I think it fits the scene. Yeah, that's good. I feel like I should place a more lighter color in the regions where the sun is hitting the water, just to harmonize everything. I don't know how this will look. Let me explore actually. Let's just create another layer. Paint some random color on top where sun hits the water, explore with blending modes what I can, well, what cool effects I can get, right? Just to make things more harmonic and beautiful. I don't know. Let's take a more neutral blue, like here in the middle. Just pass on this area, including, I don't know if I included, no, without including the shadows, just on this area in here, like that. By the way, what happened? Oh, it's okay, it's okay. Now I'll explore some effects. This one's cool. See, this one's cool. What else? Hmm. What is this? Intense saturation. Yeah, that's actually interesting. Okay, I like that one. I'll keep this. I love Created because of its blending modes. There's it's such a huge variety of blending modes. Should I place this on the shadows too? No, no. This is good enough. Let me explore other things I can do. Yeah, this one is more interesting because I also want to reduce the contrast in the waves just to make the. I think I'm overthinking. Alright, let's not overthink. Let's just call this done and move on. Right, I'm being my own art director here. Flat this. Delete the rest. And this is good. I want to. I will use the selection tool for this. I want to catch this part in here. And a little bit of this part. And I'll take this tone of blue. I'll just pass over a little bit of texturing, of course, but just pass over. Because I want to make a clear connection between the cast shadow of her body in the water and the the part where, because this creates a contact point which let everything more realistic. Or maybe I'm just overthinking. I don't know. Now I reduce the opacity. Oh, I can't reduce the opacity. I merged everything. That's not good. Let's take this. Let's copy. And move all of this and then paste that here. Reduce the opacity. Alright. Okay. I need a straight line here. use a selection tool to achieve the type of line I want. Okay. Now I can delete the axis. Delete. Alright, that's good. Now merge. And it's I'm done with the water. I'm done with the water. That's good enough. Merge with layer below. Let's work on something else. Let's come back working in perspective. Let's see what I can do. Make this plant in here. Should I do the plant? Uh, let's work the girls, right? Let's work the girls. Look at this. Look at the difference. Jesus. Wow. Yeah, let's go. Now I work on her face. Yeah, I should work on his face. What about that? Let's work on his face a little bit. For this, I'll create a new layer because I want the characters to be on a separate layer. I like this way more. Jesus, the more layers that I add, the heavier the file gets. Let me remove these excess layers. I don't even know why I create all those layers. That's how I work. My brain simply cannot organize. Are that anything block it? What is this? Why did I lock this? Anyway. Remove layer. Alright. Let's keep going. I'll make his face. New layer. I'll call this layer Boomer. Go. And now I'll start refining these shapes right here. Oops. What the fuck? Uh-oh, there's a problem. The color picking... Oh, that's gonna be hard. The color picking is layer based, so I can only color pick the colors that I of the layer that I'm working on right now. So I need to take... I'll do this. I'll kind of select more or less the region of his face. Right. The pixels that represent his face and head for that matter, and body too, whatever. It's just for color picking. This is not even important. Oh, Jesus Christ. Computer. Let's copy this, right? Copy. And paste there. Oh, come on. Boomer. Let me check out. Oh, fuck off. Where is the thing that I selected and copied and pasted? What? You just... Let's try again. Oh, I was in the wrong layer when I copied. so dumb. Now, now we have it. Let's check out. Yep, perfect. Now I can color pick. Hmm, I'll work this way. It's better. This expression needs to be very demonic, but cool at the same time. It needs to be cool, like cool expression. Most things are already solved. I'm only refining the shapes. That's the advantage of pixels. If you manage to achieve a cool look in pixel phase, rest is kind of easy. They have this little pushy smile right here. It makes this psychopathic look to the smile. I like. I think it's super cool. Hmm. I also like this silhouette that is formed between the teeth and the lighting of the skin that creates this Hulk type of mouth, right? That akins to the skeleton too, because the skeleton has this like this shape right here. I feel like the teeth need to be a little bit more white. It's too yellow. It's ugly. But that's better. Let's do these canines. When he smile, I think my voice is all glitchy because of my computer's bugging. All right. When his smile is from a evil character, the more realistic it gets. That's something about my style. The more evil something is, the more realistic it gets. That's why in my version of the Powerpuff Girls, him, it's pretty much just a realistic rendered character. It's just like portrait style character, realistic, extremely realistic. And the girls are, because the girls are kind of good, right? The girls are cute and whatnot. They are rendered in this very cartoonish manga style, and the boys are kind of a mid-term. They are a little bit more realistic at times, a little bit more cartoonish. They have this round face, but they are cartoonish as well. They're just cartoonish enough, I think. I messed up. Let's focus on the teeth. Make this canine here. What happened? Oh, this is besides the color picking area. Just take this stone of blue, look again. Can, yeah. For the face, I really cannot explain exactly what I do. I really can't. For the water, I can explain like, oh, shadows and this and that. But for the stylization of the character's face, I go full abstract thinking mode. Things don't even need to make sense in 3D. They only need to look cool. Know what I mean? Let me check up. Oh. Yeah, this is another thing. The uh, the pixels kind of help you to with the proportions, right? Because I need to respect the proportions that I define in the pixel phase, which is yet another advantage to pixels, working with pixels. For example, I can see that there is a whiter spot in here that is more important, and I kind of lost this effect, so I will apply a little bit a little darker color here in the front of the teeth, so I can have this wider spot right in the middle where this pixel were before, right? Pixels help you reduce the gap between value and shape design, right? You kind of learn how to work this way because when you work with pixels, value and shape design become one single thing. Because the color of the pixel will determine how the thing feels like when you look at a distance. And then you can use this at your advantage when you're shape designing. You just saw an example right there. I put a wider spot in this region because this helps ensure that this shape that I talked about it before, right? Let me, this shape like that, right? In his mouth that is hacking to the cranium, right? This shape gets more emphasized in here, which helps bring this feeling that he has. And I kind of lost that sense when I was designing shapes. Since I'm working with the pixels underneath, it helps me with that. That's an advantage. And how do you explain this to people without the context of painting, right? This is the type of thing that simply there's no way to explain this to someone without showing a real life scenario where this type of technique applies. I'm always checking the pixels underneath to restore the feeling that it had before. Mm. I'll use this area of the mouth to simulate kind of like a teeth, huge teeth, because pixels also uh, help on that. And this is the advantage of this type of smile too. There's a pointy area in here. Ooh, computer. Computer again. Computer again. Oops, I messed up real bad. It's okay. You just copy this and select and copy. Oh, never mind, I'll just flat this. How about the dark area where that darker pixel is? Just select the right brush to do that job. Like that. Now I need to push this a little bit like that. Oh god.
YouTube Premium é o YouTube sem anúncios e o YouTube Music num app só. Teste por um mês grátis.
This is getting good. Crazy how shape design works, right? There is a darker area in here in the mouth. I'll try to compensate with a little bit of contour. I don't I don't know if I like this. Wait, let me come back just a little bit. I need more darkness to prove this. Fuck. Computer having trouble. I need more darkness in here to improve that shape in here. Interesting. Thing is that it has a kind of like curl like this. It needs to be very subtle. Come on. All right. I feel like it needs a little rotation to match better. Like that. Just a little bit. Let's see. That's better. A little bit forward. Let's see. Yeah. Let's keep going. This I want right now. I want him to have a thicker jaw. So it needs to make this part in here more squared. To be careful in making this chin. Now the nose. Let's make the eye. Badass. I don't know. I'll copy this because I kind of like this, but I there was something in the other version that I like more. Just come back to what it was. Maybe I should combine both versions. Like paste that and reduce the opacity. Let's see how it gets. Yeah, I'll go with this one. Let's check. Hmm. I'll reduce the size of that thing, that part. But I need to not change the shape itself, but change the size of the shape. Let's just see how it gets. And I need to kind of rotate too for some reason. You know, there's something about the human face. Wait, let me put the music again. There's something about the human face that people don't teach you. Do you know, like, the character Sonic? You know how the character is? It has kind of like you have the mouth, and around the mouth it has like this huge cheekbone, right? And then you have the nose in here. You see this in the Looney Tunes as well. Not only in the this emulates a rhythm that the face has. That it kind of gets all this. It kind of creates a straight line between the eyes to the chin, right? This rhythm is very important. You can curve like this, especially when the character's smiling, but you need to keep this rhythm. Always forget. And this kind of matches with the ear perfectly. Let me include the ears as well. There's still something in the original that I'm liking kind of more. Let me try to restore the this sensation. Mm. The teeth should bulges forward just a little bit like that. To think it thicken this part just a little bit. I still need to push a little bit down more, even more. Let's see. Imagine if I didn't use pixels. It would be impossible to come up with these ideas. Sucks to have the limitations of a human brain. It's difficult because you have the feeling that you wanna go for, but you just don't have the means of designing this. You need to figure out your way through. For example, I need to push this part more like this. Way better. But then I need to push this to down just like that. Oops, what the fuck? Let me soften the edge in here. Bam. I feel like I need to straight up this shape like that. Need to increase the size on that part. Honestly, I just delete this. Delete. Oops. Not here though.
Inclusive, tem dois tipos de pessoas que vendem
Delete.
Tem aquele vendedor que trabalha o
Alright.
mês inteiro e quando chega o final do mês vai olhar a conta e pensa:
Mm. It's really alien when you stop thinking about it. It's not human at all. But our brains just recognize as a face, as expression. I don't know. It's like the pure expression without the limitations of human anatomy. You know what I mean? That's the magic of it, I guess. It's like human anatomy does its best to kind of fit what our brains recognize as, right? As a smile, as things like that. But it needs to, in reality, it needs to work together, both of them. The functions and the actual anatomy underneath the functions. But when you're drawing, when you're designing, you can just work with pure functions. That's why it gets so expressive. A type of expressionism that you don't get in real faces, in real humans, real life. And I really don't know what exactly is this quote unquote expression. I don't know what this is. I just know that it exists somehow inside our brains. Might not even exist for real. It might be something that only our brains do, you know? I mean, I'm getting philosophical, sorry. His nose is too up. Let me just reduce this. That's better. Let's keep going. Oops. Wrong brush. I'm getting tired of speaking all the time, but it really helps. I got to say, I never shared my process before with anyone. It's something so particular, and I don't think anyone will watch this video to the end. So whatever. I think the main reason I do this live streaming, it's because if someone accuses me of being AI, I can just say, "Hey, watch this." There's the whole process. Then they will see that it's not AI, it's actual. It's actually for real. When when I get a better PC, a better computer, it will be way easier to make this type of streaming, right? Because my computer fucking sucks. My process is so weird, isn't it? It's not usual at all. I mean, who thinks like this? I don't know. Hmm. See how it's going.
Neusa muscular tem o elemento Neusa, que relaxa e destrava a musculatura. Chama a Neusa que resolve.
Você de novo. Pra quê? Por que arriscar tudo outra vez?
All right. need to take this. I'm bringing a little bit more here. To here. Oh. Oof. I thought my creator would crash. I'll save. Alright. Now I change the type of pupil. Put it like that. That's better. That's way better. I really want to add more emphasis to this shape somehow. Oh, I see what I need to do. I need to bring this a little bit backwards. Just a little bit like that. Oh, I think I went too much. No, it's actually not. It's actually, he needs a little bit more even. Yeah, like that. Better. The fuck, this whole region. Needs to go a bit down. Oh, computer. Work. Come on. Try again. That's better. Dude, that gotta go into the Guinness Book as the most psychopathic smile ever drew by someone. Cause yeah, in the story, Boomer is a straight up psychopath. Huge psychopath. Have no idea. He's evil as fuck. Evil to the bones. He's the evilest of the three.
Por que Nutella é tão gostosa? Porque é feita com ingredientes de qualidade, como avelãs.
Hell yeah. See how the assets didn't change? It's still exactly like the pixel art, but now it has the shape solved. And since I didn't need to care about design, I only needed to care about how the pixels kind of look like, right? How the pixels feel like. I was able to get a very interesting feel using the pixel art. That I don't think I would be able to do it if I went straight to shape design. That's why I work with pixels first. Even in here, there's this big, big white spot here that I want to add as well. Let's see. Mm, no, this white spot actually goes a little bit up. Huh. All right. Maybe. Oh, interesting. Okay. Let me do this. I'll I'll mark the exact place where this spot should be. Just select. All right. And paint it on the right color. Okay. Hmm. This actually worked a lot. Okay. Let's see. I'm surprised that my Krita haven't crashed yet. Wow. This is actually very impressive. I don't know why this works so well, but it does. So I just keep it, I guess. Maybe I should just at least round out the edges, right? So it doesn't look like an actual pixel.
Baby, ame lo que quiera. Yo contigo soy candela. Quiero que me dejes a tu manera. Dale suelta que
That's
estoy
it.
entera. Y dale, racata, racata, racata. Quiero darte racata, racata. Soy una feliz de racata. Conmigo olvídate de la cata. Dale, racata, racata, racata. Quiero darte
This is
racata,
looking
racata.
so fucking good already.
Conmigo olvídate de la cata. Dale, racata, 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 racata. Dale, racata, 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 racata.
Oh, what? I'll straight up just copy things from the original to the like this part in here, for example. Hmm. That is very interesting.
Calma, meu parceiro, é o seguinte: se você tá perdendo a chance de ganhar R$ 1 milhão no chute premiado da loja.
Hmm. My computer's almost exploding, man. I need to at least finish him, right? Finish his whole design. I finished the waterfall, I finished his face, and then I finished the live stream. Fuck. That's good. Oh my god. Mm. That is the longest live stream ever made. I don't even know how many hours I'm on this painting already.
Só Neuza tem um elemento Neuza, que alivia dor e a pressão na cabeça. Chama a Neuza que resolve.
I need to define the edge of his chin a little bit better. What the fuck? a huge glitch. All right. If you ask me to explain how I did this, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I have no idea what I did this. What I did there. I just let the other guy take care of it. Oh no, I flattened out the layer. So I cannot see how it. Oh no, that's a problem. Hmm. Oh, wait, I guess I can. Can I invert? You said I invert? What the fuck? Oh, okay. Huge trouble. Computer's burning down. Computer. Alright. Now I clean up like that. Now I flip that. Oops. My music. What the fuck? Oh yeah, makes sense. Now I can erase the rest. Wait, be careful.
YouTube Music num só app.
It's going pretty well. Hmm. It looks like a rat. It looks like a little animal. I don't know. Weird, right? A cat, a wolf, a dog, a rat, a generic mammal. I don't know. It looks like a lot of things. It doesn't look human, but it looks cool. That's the goal. Oh, I have trouble with this mouth. Because the mouth is black and the. Oh, I have an idea. Wait. I'll do a chroma key. My god, computer's fucking so. It's so hot that it's hurting my fingers. And I kid you not. It's so fucking hot. I don't know how it's not melting the insides already. Alright. Now I won't have trouble of selecting. Oh, please work. I like this music. This music is relaxing and cool at the same time. It's a cool way of being relaxed. Woo, that was hard. Computer, please, 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 please. Shit. All right. Oh, the rest can be. The face is the major issue, right? Is the more abstract thing that I need to get pixel perfect. But the rest, I can pretty much just draw whatever. I'll do exactly that. Merge it here. Here we go. Wait, where's this part? Great. Let's keep going. Hmm. Hmm. it's the back cavity. Same thing in here, maybe. Yeah, I think this gray it's the best for now. Hmm. Let's check out the difference. Yeah. And for these parts, I don't need to necessarily make all of that shit that I did in the face, right? It's not necessary. Hmm. Although I think here we go. I think his hair in here needs a more interesting shape.
Olha só, você até pode pagar por um app de streaming e um app de música. Ou, quem sabe, só assinar o YouTube.
Dude, I hope the fact that I'm listening to music don't affect the monetization of my videos. I think it will. Definitely will. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, anyway. I wish people would participate and speak to me in the chat. But I think this is an achievement that I will conquer later when I start to get famous. I wonder if anyone would actually watch those huge live streams. Me talking about like shape design and stuff. Thinking out loud. starting to look way better. Look. Hell yeah. I'll restore a little bit of the original. Just me. Let my computer
Com o YouTube Premium,
come back
veja
to.
vídeos sem anúncios, offline e em segundo plano. E ouça
That was very good. That was good. Keep the pixelated version. After I finish like finalizing the characters separately, I'll redo the scenario without the characters. Right. I'll basically solve the back part of the characters. I'm sorry, of the scenario, and then I'll reactivate the layer of the characters because I think everything is already working, right? So all I need to do is working, treat it like a puzzle and solve it piece by piece. I really think that this part of the hair was were working better before. Should I don't know. I'm thinking that his head is too big now, which is weird because I didn't had this impression when I worked with pixel with the pixel version. Oh, I see why. I understand what is happening. What was happening is that shadow was reading first, right? So my brain was capturing only the shape of the shadow, and that's why the head didn't seem like too big in the pixelated version. There's this interesting concept in painting, which is let the brain of your audience to work for you, right? By the way, let me just check up on the stream. Yeah, it's still streaming. Great. It's great. Hmm. I'll actually stop the stream right here because I need to eat and I'll I don't know if I'll continue the rest of the piece on stream. I'll try to do this. I try to keep going from where we stopped. I wish I could just pause. I think I can do this. I don't know. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'll just finalize it. It was a pleasure to draw with you guys. Let's just see the all I did so far with the where is the oh my god. You're fucking kidding me, right? I didn't lose the waterfall. Have I? Alright. I'll save a backup and try to restore the waterfall because I think I have lost the waterfall. Oh no. That was so stupid. Alright, I'll save a backup. Oh, I still have a version with the waterfall. Great. That means it's not all lost. Great. Now I have a backup and I can restore the waterfall now. Anyway, I'll stop the stream. Um, I'll continue later, right? Bye bye, guys. Guys, there's no one watching. Anyway.